Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Oh, the Illblurmatic. Welcome back to Illblurmatic. Welcome back, returning supporters. Welcome, new supporters. Welcome to the channel. Today's new review for a movie is going to be on Spider-Man No Way Home. Let's get right into it. So, what I like about this film. So pretty much with this film, I like how it starts off. It starts off from the previous Spider-Man. If you have not seen that, go check that out. Far From Home. And literally, we see Peter's big secret out there. Mysterio drops a bomb and tells the whole entire world who Spider-Man really is. And I really like that aspect of it because we see Peter in a vulnerable state. Because I'm pretty sure the people that hate that he's Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and there are people that like that he's Spider-Man, of course, but also the problem with him dealing with normalcy, because now he's famous. He's a famous superhero, and he's a high school student, so I'm pretty sure that was awkward, because we saw that in the film, now that they know his secret, and also the people that were around him that knew his secret also having to go through things where Aunt May had to move to a whole nother location because they were harassing Peter and everything. I like that aspect of it. We see Peter not having a normal life, you know what I'm saying? Going to school, you know, they recording him and stuff. And I was just like, poor Peter Parker / Spider-Man. So I did like that aspect of it, seeing that he didn't really want the fame, you know what I'm saying? He didn't want to be this famous superhero. Like, he just wanted to be a superhero. He didn't want the title fame with it. And can you blame him? No. So we saw that aspect, but also we saw the consequences from the previous film. Now everyone knows the secret. I love how Jonah Jameson, played by J.K. Simmons, literally is just like Peter Parker's / Spider-Man's biggest troll, really Spider-Man's biggest troll. And it's hilarious because he's like, you know, trying to paint him as this villain. He's not really a hero. And like I said, he's his biggest troll. So I really like that aspect of the film. But also we see Peter wanting to change things. Now that everyone knows, he can't really have a sense of normalcy. You know what I'm saying? So I did like that aspect of the film where Peter's like, look, I want to change things. So who does he go to get these things changed? Doctor Strange. And I gotta say, I love the chemistry between Peter and literally Doctor Strange. The chemistry is like a father and son relationship between the two. I like that aspect of it where you can definitely see that Peter appreciates Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange appreciates him. But there's also problems with them. We see throughout some of the film, the issues that they have. And what happens is Peter said, hey, look, I only want a certain amount of people to know that I'm Spider-Man, and that leads to problems. And what happens is villains from the other verses, the other multiverses that are out there, and pretty much that leads to a problem where he has to figure out how to get all these different villains. And I gotta say, man, it was cool to see that, you know what I'm saying? Also, what I really loved about this film is just the visuals. The visuals were really good for this film. Whether it was Doctor Strange and Peter having their differences and having a battle with one another, or just like literally the visuals when he was fighting people, it definitely could tell that, you know, John Watts used some of Sam Raimi's visualness with this actual film, which really worked. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Certain fighting scenes. Also with this film, we see the villains. That's the main thing, the villains. I love how certain villains they use more. Like, I know for me, Doc Ock and Electro, I love that they used them a little bit more to some degree. Definitely glad that William Dafoe returned as Green Goblin. Hands down, I don't care what anybody says. It's gonna definitely, he's the best Green Goblin for a live adaptation. I like how they introduced him like towards like not the very beginning of the villains that were coming from these different multiverses. Like I said, Electro was definitely the comical relief. I like how they used Sandman. Sandman was kind of like the neutral villain. Then we had Lizard. and I thought that was really cool that they kind of like did that with certain villains. And I seen that certain villains had their own little, I guess you could say relationships. Like I said, with Doc Ock, Green Goblin. I like that they had that going on. We see Electro and Sandman. Like I said, Lizard. And like I said, Green Goblin. And I like how Green Goblin had like a newer costume, which was really cool for the film. I was like, okay, he kind of changed his outfit. It wasn't, the one with the mask. Like, he had the mask, but, he didn't use the mask. Also, what I really liked about this film that really stood out for this Spider-Man film is pretty much the meetings of the Spider-Mans. Yo, that really delivered. I really enjoyed the chemistry between the Spider-Mans, Tom Holland, even Andrew Garfield. Like, I liked that the chemistry was there. We've seen where they had their differences, their agreements, and there were sentimental scenes between them. I thought was really cool where we saw like, and I love how they kind of were introduced. I'm kind of glad that Peter didn't meet them. It was more so Ned and MJ meeting them, which was a really cool aspect of it. It had a nice amount of action, a nice amount of comedy with this actual film. I thought that was really cool. Sometimes you have an action film, but there's not any comical relief. There was comical relief through the film. A nice amount of action, decent story, a story where the hero's vulnerable because everyone knows his big secret. He wants to make things right, where that was really cool, where he pretty much asked Dr. Strange to assist him like a father figure, which I really thought was cool. But the spell did not work because Peter kept interrupting Dr. Strange using his magic. I thought that was crazy. And I also liked the partnership between Ned and pretty much MJ. So they were kind of like his, his backup team, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was really creative that they used them to help Peter find these other multiverse heroes, which was totally fine with me. I gotta say, with this film, you're definitely gonna, it's a tearjerker. It's a tearjerker. I gotta say, the most incredible thing about this film was the ending. The ending, to me, was definitely dope. Like, I like what they did with the ending. It wasn't like I didn't expect it to be the way it was gonna be when I first, I said to myself, Then I was thinking to myself, I wonder, and the ending, it was sad. It was a sad ending, but it made sense, you know what I'm saying? I think, certain things they kind of left open for the next Spider-Man film. Like I said, you do lose one character. I'm not going to say which character that is a pillar in Tom Holland's Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to say which character. All I can say is we see that he pays respect to go see that person and stuff like that. We also see with Peter trying to readjust to a normal life. You know what I'm saying? After the multiverse, I thought that was really cool. We saw the aftermath and how he kind of just changed his life. We see Peter no longer a high school student, because remember, he's a senior student in this movie. And we see him live a normal life, him still becoming Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying, and going around the city. It's towards the end, it was more of a Christmas feel to the film. And we see Peter with a newer Spider-Man costume. I gotta say, the costumes in this movie were really cool. I like that each Spider-Man costume was different. Then I gotta say, the Infinity War costume had an upgrade, which was really cool. This was definitely a 5 out of 5 for me. I cannot lie. That was a 5 out of 5 for me. I like the story where, like I said, the supervillain kind of exposes the secret to the whole entire world. I like the teamwork ethics, whether it was between Ned and MJ or just between the Spider-Mans all together. I also like how they use the villains. Some villains they used a little bit more than others. Some they didn't use as much. And I think, to me, out of the Spider-Man Tom Holland trilogy, this is definitely probably the darkest one that I've seen out of his trilogy. And I think this one had a lot of action sequences that really worked with the film, whether it was Peter and the other Spider-Mans coming together to fight off these villains. You know what I'm saying? Or whether it was just him teaming up with pretty much Ned and MJ. I really did like that aspect of the film. And also, I just like that we see a superhero having to deal with living a normal life where his secret identity is completely exposed to the entire world. I thought that was really cool with that approach. And like I said, they left it open for a fourth film, you know what I'm saying? So I can't wait to see what's next for Spider-Man. And like I said, there were some things they took that I felt that I saw, like, you know, leaked info and stuff. And I was like, well, certain things they didn't have in the film. But I was totally okay with it because you know how it is with movies now. They have the deleted scenes or you know, scenes that they didn't use. And who knows? We never know. So until next time, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And until next time, guys, have a great one. And I'm out.
Next time, oh yeah, it'll blur matic.